Hi, and welcome to the No Experience. I'm Cherie No, and today, y'all, we're going to talk about more interesting facts about South Korea I bet you didn't know. So let's get right into the video. As most of you probably know if you've been watching my channel for a while, I live in South Korea and I've lived here for a few years, and I've been keeping a list of all of the interesting things that I find that are different from America because I think it's fun to share with y'all. So here is number one. You will not see bumper stickers on people's cars.
That is so fetch.
Now, I mean in the way that we use bumper stickers in America. There's really only two bumper stickers I've ever actually seen on cars in South Korea. One of them is the baby on board. I know it's a little cliche because we've kind of done that for years in America and we're a little over it. But here in South Korea, they still use it a lot. But the other one that I really love, and I think we should do in America, is you will see bumper stickers on people's cars that say they're a new driver. And this is so people don't get extra angry at them when they are driving slow or extra cautious. Because one thing about South Korean drivers are they are a bit aggressive in their driving techniques. So I think these bumper stickers are great because it lets people around them know, hey, don't get so angry at me that I'm trying to be extra cautious. But you won't see cars that are just compiled in bumper stickers like we have in America. Okay, number two, and I know y'all have noticed this if you watched any K-dramas or any Korean TV, but often you will see that women in South Korea use foundation that is too light for their skin. This is a little hard for me to understand being an American. I'm not judging the culture. It's hard for me to understand because in American culture where we work really hard to make sure our foundation matches our skin tone. But I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that in South Korea, Korean women are often trying to portray a very fair, light skin. And so they will choose foundation that is too light for their skin. And it always kind of throws me off when I see it on a K-drama or the news. But again, it's not my culture, but I think it's interesting. So if you noticed it and you're wondering if you're going crazy, you're not going crazy. It really is lighter than their skin. Okay, number three. If you move to South Korea and you get a car, you're going to notice that the gas prices in South Korea are crazy, crazy expensive.
Gasoline prices in South Korea have risen for the 10th consecutive week, en route to a near 5-month record high.
Now, I actually didn't realize for the first almost 2 years that I've lived here how expensive the gas was because I hate to admit it, I am a bit of a dumb American, and you know, the gas prices are listed in liters, and in America, of course, we use gallons as our reference. So when I saw the gas prices for the last 2 years, I never really did the math. So gas can run anywhere between $5 and $6 per gallon. Per gallon! And I understand again why this is, because Korea doesn't have its own supply of oil. And so all the gas has to be imported. So it makes sense that the gas is expensive because it's expensive for it to arrive into South Korea. I just can't believe it took me as long as it did to figure out how expensive it is. Number four, and I don't know why we don't do this in America because Korea, it's genius. South Korean women rent their wedding dresses.
Yes, I'm a genius.
They almost always rent their wedding dresses. In America, we always buy our wedding dresses, which until I moved to Korea and went to Korean weddings and started to learn about the Korean wedding culture, I was shocked at first, but it makes total sense. I mean, let's think about it, y'all, my fellow Americans that are watching this. In America, men rent their tuxedos, so why don't women rent their wedding dresses? I genuinely don't know. Okay, number five. Korean cell phone camera shutters make a noise. And they can't turn it off. And that is because there has been a problem in Korea over the years with people taking pictures up girls' skirts, going up escalators in the women's restrooms. And one of the ways that the Korean government has helped combat this is that all cell phones that are sold in South Korea cannot turn the shutter sound off on their camera. And that way, nobody will be caught by surprise by a photograph that's being taken of them. Don't be afraid to come to South Korea because it's a fantastically safe country. This is just one of the additional ways that Korea helps to keep the country so safe. Number 6, Y'all, the internet in Korea is bonkers perfect. South Korean internet and Wi-Fi is so fast. Now, when I say fast, y'all, you know, one of the things that used to irritate me living in America was that I would always pay for the high-speed internet, you know, the one that's supposed to be 10 times faster than everyone else. But y'all, it was never 10 times faster than anything. It would always lag, and then any storm, any like hint of wind, and the whole thing would go down along with the electrical. And you'll know what I mean. The lights will go out and stuff too. But here in Korea, we have hurricanes, we have crazy weather sometime, and y'all, the internet never even so much as glitches, and neither does the electricity. But when you come to South Korea, don't worry about the fact that you probably won't have cell service, because you'll have Wi-Fi everywhere. And I mean, you can walk down the block and every store you pass is you can connect to the Wi-Fi. It's fantastic, and it's so fast, y'all. You download something and it is done. Number 6, when you come to visit South Korea and you go to a restaurant and you have leftovers, don't ask for a doggy bag. They won't know what you're talking about. Almost all South Korean restaurants don't offer doggy bags. There are a few restaurants, like especially Italian style restaurants, that possibly can get a doggy bag. Now, if you order food to go, of course, that's no problem. But if you've already been sitting down and eating your food and want to take the leftovers home, most places are not going to have that as an option. So just make sure that you enjoy the food that you did. And there are lots of side dishes that come free with your food, but don't feel guilty when you leave some of it behind. Okay, number 8, y'all. And I had to post this on my TikTok because I wanted to make sure I wasn't the only one who didn't know this is really a thing. But in South Korea, you better wash your rice like 3 or 4 times before you cook it. I had to post on my TikTok and ask people, am I the only one who never washed their rice before I cooked it? And to be fair, I never noticed any flavor differences and I never died. But I did post on my TikTok, and there was a lot of great conversation about this. Of course, other Asian countries definitely wash their rice, you know, several times. But when I moved to Korea, my Korean husband was appalled when the first time I tried to cook rice for us in the rice cooker, I didn't wash the rice, and he looked like I just committed like a grave sin. Now I definitely wash it 3 or 4 times. Number 9, when you are driving around the countryside in South Korea, you are not going to see random animals or farms like you do in America. You know, that is one thing that I've noticed is a little different about the countryside here in South Korea. Now, I'm originally an Oregonian, and the environment here in South Korea is very similar. The mountains and the beautiful greenery, it actually makes me feel very comfortable and at home here in Korea. But one of the things that I did notice that I don't see that I would have seen driving around in America, in Oregon, is passing like horses or cows or various farms like that. Now, there are lots of farms in South Korea, but they're agriculture farms, which is also beautiful to see. Everywhere you go, there is a farm, y'all. And lastly, number 10, did you know that in Korea, the presidency is only 1 term and it lasts 5 years? So next year, there will be an election because President Moon will no longer be president, and he cannot run for re-election. Unlike America, of course, which is we have 2-term presidencies, so one president can be in office for 8 years. So anyway, you guys, I really hope that you liked this video. If you're interested in more of these interesting, strange, unique, crazy facts, I have lots of them on my channel. So please subscribe, comment below, and let me know if you noticed any of these, if you are a foreigner also living in South Korea, or if you're a native Korean, since I do have many of them watching my channel, and if you've been to America and noticed any of these differences as well. And if you'd like to support the channel so I can actually go out and show you more of the countryside, which I am starting more vlogs, you can do so at patreon.com/thenoexperience. So y'all, until next time, stay classy, YouTube. Bye.